Hello, I'm Lindsay Hall, Chief Market Strategist for the RMB Group. Welcome to our video series, A Short Course in Futures and Options. By viewing this course, you'll gain knowledge about what options and futures are and how you can use options on futures in your own portfolio to help with diversification while potentially lessening capital exposure. Let's begin with an intro to the world of futures and options now. The success of the international futures and options markets is one of the most incredible investment stories of all time. The popularity of these once obscure trading instruments has grown exponentially in a very short time. From 1988 to 2000, volume more than quadrupled, from under 500 million contracts to over 2 billion contracts, and then quadrupled again in just 4 years. Approximately 9 billion futures and options contracts changed hands in 2004. In 2008, 17.7 billion contracts were traded, nearly double again. Since ancient Greece first traded olives, the simplicity and flexibility of options and futures contracts have made them one of the world's premier investment vehicles, in large part because they offer pure price plays not available in any other investment vehicle. This chart reveals this explosive growth from 1955, when only 4.1 million contracts traded, to over 17 billion in 2008. There is a reason for this incredible growth. Futures and options may enable large corporations, professional money managers, and savvy individual investors to actually reduce risk and increase returns in their portfolios. Once you're done reviewing and processing the information in this short course, you'll have at hand the professional investment techniques covering markets from soybeans to the stock market that until recently were well-kept secrets of a select few. Formerly the domain of agricultural products like soybeans and coffee, or hard assets like silver and gold, futures and futures options have become an indispensable part of global finance, as important to the American economy as the New York Stock Exchange, as critical to the world economy as the European and Asian bourse that have recently grabbed the attention of the American investor. Today, there are futures and options contracts covering everything from foreign currencies to natural gas, and from short-term Eurodollars to the NASDAQ 100. There are even futures contracts on individual stocks. An important side note is that futures are liquid and visible. In nearly every case, these markets are liquid and public. Prices are determined by the open outcry of trades in a ring or pit, or via an electronic auction taking place at light speed in a computer. What does this mean for the individual investor? It means you enjoy the same advantages professional traders have for years, just as cheaply. Whether you know it or not, you're probably participating in the futures and options market already. The next time you receive a prospectus from a mutual fund, open it up and actually read it. The chances are good your fund uses futures and options to insure itself against catastrophic losses in its portfolio. You can use futures and options in exactly the same way. In fact, you can use them in place of traditional instruments like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, often with greater safety and for less cost than many traditional investment alternatives. For most of their 2,000-year history, options have been a mystery to most investors. While that is changing, most individual investors have only a vague notion of options. What we aim to do is remove some of the mystery by explaining options in clear and concise terms. This short course will introduce you to some simple tools you can use to help plan for and profit from emerging trends in the global marketplace without betting the farm or committing more than a small share of your financial resources at any one time. In many cases, these tools will work as well for investors with a few $1,000s as they will for investors with millions of dollars. Don't worry if you don't get it right away. Watch these short course videos, leave them for a day or two, and then come back and watch them again. Feel free to take notes each time you watch them as well, and remember that repetition is always key to learning. Thank you for joining us for this intro video, and we hope you enjoy this short course in futures and options. Now it's time to check out our second video covering futures contracts.